Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a classic sort of comfort food in some ways, and it's going to be Cornish pasties. But I'm going to do it a couple of ways. One traditional with pastry, and the second one in a way that will fit in if you're on Slimming World. So I'm not going to take what I'm going to do just yet, because I'm going to do the pastry one first. And if you've been reading the press or the social media, you can see that lots of pre-done pastry has been called back for salmonella. And what's quite interesting, Just Roll and sort of Tesco, Sainsbury's seem to be made in the same factory, but twice as expensive if you get the sort of Just Roll brand. So it just goes to show you don't need to go for the most expensive. But what I wanted to do today is just show you actually making your own pastry isn't that difficult. And you can make it in advance, and this pastry works really well being made in advance because it needs to be really chilled when you use it, so it's perfect. So you can just find, I don't know, 15 minutes one evening to make it, wrap it in cling film and pop it in the fridge and just take it out when you need it. And you know, you could just take it out a little bit at a time. As long as you use it, say within a week, it'll be absolutely fine. And you can freeze pastry as well, so again, perfect for quick dinners. And obviously the other version is even quicker once you've prepared the filling. So what I'm going to do first of all, because like I said, my pastry needs to be well chilled, I'm going to show you how I make my pastry first of all. And then the second Cornish pastry I want to make, I will tell you now, it's made with a wrap. And if you're on Slimming World, you know that wraps, if you get the right ones, can be part of your healthy extra big. So the filling itself will be sin-free, which is perfect. So you can almost have a sin-free dinner with pasty and chips. Make your own chips, sin-free, and then your pasty will be your healthy extra B and also free contents inside, so free filling. With this as well, I'm using wholemeal wraps just for my own personal preference. You can use plain white as long as they're part of your healthy extra B, or if you want to sin it, of course you can. As you know, I'm not on Slimming World anymore, so I don't have access to all the sins, I'm afraid. But if you are on Slimming World, I just wanted to sort of drop that in there for you. So, right, I'm going to go downstairs now and my kitchen and start making my pastry. Right, so in my bowl, I've got 500 grams of just plain flour. Sorry, my husband's whistling in the background. Have closed the door, but you can still hear it a little bit. To that, I'm just going to add 125 grams each of cold butter. It needs to be cold, and lard. Okay, and then you're going to get your hands in there, and you're literally going to combine the flour with the fat. So you want it to look like breadcrumbs, and it can take a little while, but it is quite therapeutic to just literally feel that butter and that lard between your fingers as you try and mix in the flour. To begin with, it's more difficult because obviously your butter especially is really hard if you've got it really cold. But as you work it, it does soften a little bit. Now you don't want it too soft because the whole point of this is that you want this pastry really cold, which is why we're going to stick it in the fridge afterwards just to chill down. Now if you're in a rush and you know you don't want to leave it overnight or you don't want to leave it for a few hours, then you can leave it for up to 20 minutes, it's fine, or you can just stick it in the freezer. Ultimately what you want is when you take it out to use it, it is maximum cold. You'll get the best pastry then. So it does take a little bit of time, but this bit is worth it. This is obviously the full fat version. But if you're like my husband and you're not really that bothered, you know, you've got quite an energetic job, so you're burning the calories off all day, this is perfect. I'm going to have the alternative, which I will make later. But in the meantime, I'm going to crack on with this. Right, so that's all done. And I'm going to add some salt into that, just a pinch. And then I'm going to put a little well in the middle. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water at a time, because what I want to do is pull this together then as a pastry. Now, if you've got a food processor, which I have, you can do this in the food processor. I just think, it's a bit like making bread, isn't it? I prefer to make it by hand like this than make it in the bread maker, because I can genuinely say I have literally done every element of this myself. So you might think that's mad, I know, but that's me. So I'm just going to put that in and just keep working it. Just make sure that you work it as much as possible until you're definitely sure you need more water. The last thing you want to do is start adding more water than you need, because you end up with like a soggy pastry. because it does come together without too much liquid. Give it a little knead. That's me telling you it's really easy to make flour. It is. I mean, you know, this is a little bit of a workout, but if I'd done this in the food processor, it'd been done in minutes. You know, I'm just doing it the hard way. Only because, well, one, it's a workout, and like I said, I like to say I genuinely spent time doing that. So I'm just going to give it a little knead until I'm happy that it's nice and smooth. There we go. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it into like a sausage. And the reason I'm doing this is when you come to cut it, to use it, you can then cut it into the portions you want. I'm just going to put some flour on my board, just because I want it sticking. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to knock you. I'm going to try and make it as even as possible. There we go. And then all I'm going to do is wrap that in cling film and stick it in the fridge. As I said, at least 20 minutes. The longer you can leave it, the better. So while that's doing, I'm going to crack on with the filling. And I'm also going to start looking at making the Slim World friendly one. Right, the filling couldn't be simpler. So I've got just one diced large onion in here. I've got about 400 grams of diced potato. And the reason I've got 400 grams is because what I want to try and do is have equal amounts of vegetables as I do to my meat. So I've got 400 grams there of potatoes, which I've peeled and diced. And then I've got 350 grams of diced swedes, so just slightly less than the potato. I buy it already diced because I just think, why would I want to waste my time trying to dice a swede? It's bad enough trying to cut it. Okay, and again I need the bigger bowl for this. Okay, just give that a bit of a mix with your hands. A lot of veg here, but there's a lot of pies or pasties even I'm going to be making. Okay. And then I want equal amounts of chopped beef, and this is just diced beef from the supermarket, which I've just got some scissors and just cut them into smaller pieces, because the last thing you want is for your pasty, especially if you do smaller ones, that all you've got is like just one big chunk of meat. It's nice to have it sort of spread out, and I'm just going to mix that in together. Because I should have got a bigger pan, a bigger bowl, but it'll be fine. Now, because I'm going to do some of this inside a wrap, I need to cook some of this. So what I'm going to do is transfer half of this into my frying pan and cook some of this off. The other half will go raw into the pastry. So let's start off the bit that needs to go into the tortilla wraps in the frying pan, and then we can move on. Right, you might think, oh, that's a bit of a different pan to what you normally have. It is still a Berghoff pan, but these are the Leo range, and these are more affordable, and you can get these from Sainsbury's. They do all different sizes. They are still non-stick. I don't need any oils in them, and they're absolutely amazing. So if you don't want to spend the price on the ones I normally have, this is just as good. The only difference with these ones, you can't unscrew the handles and pop them in the oven to grill. So other than that, I can't really see a difference in them. So I'm just going to put it in half of my mixture. Just making sure I don't have too much of the meat in the one and not the other. A bit more veg in that one. Perfect. And I'm going to season it with some pepper. I'm also seasoning the other bowl as well with the remaining. And then all I'm going to do is just cook this down till it softens, because this is going to be cooked quite quickly in my omelette maker, which if you've seen me make my chicken tikka, I think it was, pasty in the past, that was done in my omelette maker, and once the filling's cooked, it's actually a really, really quick process. So all I'm going to do now is leave that to cook down until the meat's cooked and the veg is all nice and soft, and then we can move on to the pastry pasties at the same time. So I'm just going to put that down and just pop the lid on, just so that can cook down nicely. Right, so I have my pastry which has been chilling in the fridge. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into sections and just take out the ones I want. While you're not using it, just pop it back in the fridge just to keep it cold, okay? And then I'm going to add some flour to my board. And I'm going to make two sizes of these. So first of all, what I'm going to do is take, oh sorry, just knocking you around. I'm going to take my pastry and just roll it to the thickness I want. And then I'm going to use my cutters to cut it. So let me do the first one. Okay. So I do have one of these pastry cutters, well not cutters but pressers. I don't think they work very well at all. So the best thing to do is just use your hands. So I'm just going to stick in my filling there and then just fold it. You don't need much filling depending on the size of your shape. And just use your fingers to press it down. And then what you can do is you can get a fork if you want to, and you can just crinkle it just to give it extra definition like that. It doesn't matter if it splits a little bit there because you're going to put some holes in it for the air to come out. And I'm going to pop that to one side, just doing another one here, and again just pop a bit of everything in there. Make sure you've got plenty of veg as well as meat. There we go. Fold it over and just press it down. And then use your fork just to give it a nice sort of pattern. There we go. And put some couple of holes in the top. Right, now for the bigger one. Put some more flour down. And then just going to roll this one. My plate and just cut around it. Like so. Remove the excess. And then apply my filling. Now, if you're doing it traditionally, what they would normally do is do a layer of swede, a layer of potatoes, and then a layer of meat on top and layer of onions, and do it that way. But I like to make sure that it's all well mixed in, so you're not getting the layers. Not traditional, I know, but that's how I like to do it. So when you get your filling in, just roll it over and then use your thumb just to crinkle the edges down, like so. I'm just going to turn it closer to me so I can see what I'm doing, just to, and then I'm going to use my fork again just to press it. Like so. Perfect. And then a couple of holes in the top to let the steam come through. And then I'm going to egg wash these and put them in the oven for about 45 minutes at 180. The small ones will probably take a little bit less, but I'm going to keep an eye on them. So let me make a few more and we'll get them in the oven and I'll show you when they're done. Right, so this is my omelette maker and this is what I'm going to use to make the next batch of pasties. So as I said, I'm going to use tortilla wraps. Now my filling has cooled and lovely in the pan. Let me just show it to you. There, can you see? So it didn't take very long at all. My potatoes have softened perfectly. My meat's cooked. So that's my filling ready for these. So what I need to do, this is where you need a bit of space, is I've got my little wraps here and they are a bit larger than the actual pan. It's not a problem because when I close it, it won't be too much of an issue. But what you'll need to do is one at a time. Okay, you can buy the smaller wraps, which is perfect. So all I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to put it halfway across like that and just make a dip so I can see where my hollow is in my wrap. And then I'm just going to take my filling and I'm just going to fill it as much as possible. There we go. Then I'm going to take the wrap and fold it over like that and then do another one. So again, find the dip, fill it with the filling. This is why having the filling a little bit cooler helps, because you can manipulate it with your hand without burning yourself. Okay, and then fold it across like so. Probably have a bit more with it. No, we're fine. Okay. And then I've got a bit of egg wash here. So all I'm going to do on the edge is here is just put a bit of egg wash all around the edge. Like so. And close it. And the same with the other side. And then a bit of egg wash on the top. Okay, going to put some fry light on the top of my omelette pan. Just spilt my egg wash over there, but no worries. And I'm just going to close it and I'm just going to leave it for a few minutes. I'm just going to hold it down until it's all cooked on the outside. It won't take very long at all. Right, so what you'll see, I'll show you this one, the wrapper's actually sealed from the actual omelette maker, so you can, if you want to, just cut off the excess here. Like this, to make a nice shaped pouch if you want to present it. And these can be placed in the fridge again to finish off. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Alright, I'm just leaving for the last bit. And then these you can either eat or throw away. So you've got nice pasty wraps. If you want them crispy, you can finish them off in the oven. So I'm just going to make 2 more very quickly. So here they are. What do you think? So I've got the healthy ones for me and then the full pastry ones for my hubby, and they will be delicious. The little mini ones will go in his lunchbox during the week as sort of like snacky things. So you can make whatever size you want. The big ones are quite big, I must admit, but you know, for a grown lad like him, it's perfect. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, don't forget you need to subscribe, click notifications and give me a thumbs up. Alright, I'll see you in my next video. Take care guys. Bye.